Hey folks, we are probably rather far in the future of Ny'ardbert's journey, because these are the Dragoon quests. As you probably tell by the upper left-hand corner, we've just unlocked, or we've just finished fighting Garuda, but I wanted to continue leveling Lancer with like dungeons and stuff, and I didn't want to do that without my job stone, so let's do the first couple quests for Dragoon. Hello, sir. I dare say you might just be the right man for the job. The Guild has urgent need of a capable Lancer for a mission beyond our nation's borders. Hear me out, if you will. I've received word from an Ishgardian friend to the effect that he requires our aid. I would have you go and provide that aid. As you may already know, due to their ongoing conflict with the dragons, Ishgard has kept her gates closed to outsiders for some time. The occasional Dragoon on patrol duty is about all folks see these days. In spite of her self-imposed isolation, however, the Holy See has never failed to honor her obligations to her allies. It is only fitting that we answer the call and lend what assistance we can. To this end, we offered to dispatch a contingent of wood-whalers with all haste, but were politely informed they would not be welcome, much to our initial confusion. It was later explained that we are dealing with a matter of some sensitivity, best handled by individuals who are capable and trustworthy, yet unbound by allegiance. And who fits that description save adventurers? Secrecy being paramount, I can provide no details as to the nature of the task. All you need to know will be revealed at the rendezvous point. Should you accept the mission, take yourself to the observatorium. A knight by the name of Sir Alberic will receive you upon arrival. We got a brand new sprout here in their starter gear. Although they might not actually be a sprout. I can't tell because they're watching a video. But can't have been playing too long, because otherwise they would have had cooler level 1 gear. Alright, I'm going to head over to the observatorium and probably cut here, because it's a bit of a walk. Alright, here we are. If we have any weird cuts here, I think I'm getting some weird interference or something with my computer. It's must have some, like, corrupted files or something. I'll have to take a look into it later. But for now, Alberic. You must be the adventurer whom Ewain sent word. Greetings, and well met. I am Sir Alberic Bale, Knight of Ishgard. The Holy See is much obliged to you for your aid. Time being of the essence, I shall proceed straight to the heart of the matter. The Eye, an Ishgardian relic of immeasurable worth, has been stolen. We have reason to believe the culprit has come this way, so it is that we ask your assistance in its recovery. The thief has been identified as a man named Estinian, a dragoon sworn to the service of the Holy See. Aye, you heard true. The crime was perpetrated by one of our own, an individual in a position of trust and no little honor. You may be assured that a fate worse than death awaits him upon capture. My duties to the sea afford me little opportunity to travel far beyond the walls of Ishgard. I must confess to a grave ignorance of recent Gridanian affairs. I was told that a sentry by the name of Logdenrel might have knowledge of routes oft taken by Ishgardian fugitives. I would prefer to keep my identity a secret, and thus would have you gather what information you can from the man. We must act quickly, for you see, Estinian is... But I have already said too much. What matters is that we could find our thief and the Eye with all haste. When last sighted, Estinian was clad in black armor. Now go, and speak not a word of what I have told you to anyone. Hello, are you Logdenrel? Routes favored by Ishgardian fugitives? That's a question I don't hear every day. You aren't plotting some unsavory act yourself, are you? No, I'm not Ishgardian. I wouldn't be a fugitive, I'd just be a criminal. Even if you were, I doubt you make it far. Anyway, we've caught a few fleeing to the North Shroud, but with Gridania being home to nearly as many Ellison as Ishgard, it's no easy task to identify outsiders. If you're on the hunt for someone, you could do worse than to visit Florental's Spire in the North Shroud and speak with a man named Idriston. If any suspicious persons have crossed the border in recent days, you'd be the first to know. Did I tell him? Okay, where's the border of the North Shroud from here? Is that this? It's the Steps of Faith. That's the North Shroud. Where are we now? Over here? No. There. Okay. I'm gonna go take the quests here, but then I will head over on to that spire. I've heard much of your doings. I think you're the man for this task. To the west is Zemail Darkhold. It was meant to serve as the new keep of Lord Zemail, ever a friend to House Durandare. But before the masons and carpenters could complete their work within the caves, hordes of void scent appeared and drove them out. In the years since, the creatures have consolidated their presence. As such, we officially petition your assistance in reclaiming the Darkhold. All arrangements have been made. You need only give your assent. Speak with Sir Ophelia at the ingress if you are with us, and she will tell you what you need to know. Cool, so that's nothing. Good morning to you, sir. My name is Simeron, and I represent the interests of the Adventurers Guild here at the Observatorium. Alright, why am I reading this? It's a fucking Guild Leaves thing. Do I have something over 35? No, just 32. Alright, I need to get the meat first. Why? There. This here is the male Darkhold. If I end up, like, cutting something together out of this, this is where we see it. And I'm gonna go unlock it. Welcome to Zemail Darkhold, built to withstand all Dravanian ploys and plans. These were the natural caves behind me until House Zemail began to enlarge, connect, and fashion them into a stronghold. Alas and alack, the Void Scent struck, interrupting the work. Alas, then in the confusion, Garleans infiltrated the keep. Alack! All in all, it was a fine mess. The Garleans were eventually forced into retreat, of course, but the Void Scent remained, and so the fortress goes on uncompleted, a home for abominations. Woe, woe is us. Yet the war with the dragons rages, and we have no nights to spare for this noble mission. Even I am here, strictly on a very long morning respite arranged by Sir Carolo. Please see to these abominations, Sir Adventurer, sir. I have much prowess with the paperwork, should you require aid of that sort. You ever met a guy named Urion J? I feel like you two would get along. Alright, North Shroud, here we are. Interesting. What you got for me? Hail, adventurer! Yes, I'm the one tasked with monitoring those who would enter our lands by way of Carthus. An Ishgardian knight clad in black armor? No, I recall nothing of the sort, and such a striking visitor would be difficult to forget. My apologies, friend. I can only suggest that you return to Log Dronel and see if he has any other theories. Cool. What a great excursion! Alright. Anything else, Logdenrel? Or Logdenrel? No luck, you say? Most curious. Why, it's nigh impossible that a fugitive could make it this far without being espied from Florentil's spire. Which is the possibility that your man is still in Ishgard. It runs counter to good sense. Would the fugitive not want to put distance of grounds between him and his pursuers? But by the process of deduction, it is a possibility. The climes of Ishgard are not kind to drifters and vagabonds. That said, there has been talk of curious smoke wafting from a cave east of here at night. Were I you, I might begin my search there. Alright. To the east! Hello, assorted Ixel. Pardon me. I'm just here to meet an edgelord. What could this campfire be? Man, I hope these Teroks aren't the ones that have the campfire. I'd feel kind of bad interrupting their whatever they're doing. That Ishgard would resort to sending coin-starved adventurers after me. I know not whether to laugh or feel insulted. The eye? It rouses for another? Preposterous. Our paths shall cross again. You can be sure of it. Oh. Okay, bye. Was he planning on killing me? Like, what was the goal there? But also, man, Albrecht, how did you expect me to, like, catch that? Maybe I was like an archer or something, but if you want a lancer going after him, like, you can't deal with those jumps. The stick is only so long. A dragoon clad in black, you say? Tell me all that transpired. By the fury that the Eye would choose another. I had not thought it possible. In light of recent events, it would seem an explanation is in order. The Eye is no ordinary relic. It harbors the power of the dragon, which it bestows upon a single chosen soul, the strongest and wisest dragoon. He who is chosen is possessed of the power to fight our mortal foes, the dragons of Dravania, on equal footing, soaring the firmament as if it were an extension of the land. The man is known as the Azure Dragoon. The Azure Dragoon is the light of hope for all Ishgardians, the paragon of all dragoons. For this reason, you may imagine how it pains me to have to confess that the man you encountered, the thief, is none other than the Azure Dragoon, and that I was once his teacher. Needless to say, I acknowledge myself accountable for Estinian's misdeeds, and mean to do all in my power to find him and recover the Eye, but I cannot do this alone. I require your help, Ny'ardbert, you who have received the power of the dragon. You may labor to believe it, but there can be no mistake. The soul of the dragoon I bear glows in your presence, irrefutable proof that you are chosen. What I can ill explain, however, is the why of it. Never before in Ishgard's long history has the Eye roused to more than one individual in a single generation, but it avails us not to cudgel our brains about it. The fact of the matter is that you are now a vessel for the power of the dragon. The dragon lies yet in slumber, however, and you must needs possess the means to wake it, the soul of the dragoon. I would entrust you with mine, Ny'ardbert. Like Estinian, I once ruled the skies as the Azure Dragoon, although that power has since become lost to me. It was simply by force of habit that I have hitherto kept this soul upon my person. I have no inkling as to why the Eye has seen fit to choose a second, an outsider at that. Yet one thing is clear. None can challenge the Azure Dragoon, and conceivably prevail, save another Azure Dragoon. You are our only hope of bringing Estinian to justice and reclaiming the Eye. Of course, I do not ask that you do this unaided. I may be a dragoon no more, but what knowledge I have I shall gladly impart to you. For indeed, when the time comes that you must face the Azure Dragoon, not less than the complete mastery over the power of the dragon will avail you. That a perilous road lies ahead of you I shall not deny. Knowing this, if you would still lend me your lance, I will teach you to harness the power that has chosen you. Go forth, my young dragoon, and rouse the dragon within. I look forward to your return. I got a dragon badge. Right. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna go get some other stuff done real quick, but then when we come back... Oh, do I need to do the thing to get those? Yeah, I'll accept this quest, and then there'll be a cut when I come back to actually do it. It is pleasing to see how readily the dragon stirs within you. You show great potential, Ny'ardbert, potential that may well prove the difference between victory and defeat. Estinian is no ordinary dragoon. Even when set against the legendary Azures of ages past, the man was considered second to none. Such is his prowess, in fact, that the day he was chosen by the Eye, it was proclaimed that Haldrath the Dragon's Eye had been reborn. I mean not to disparage your skills, Ny'ardbert, but to pursue Estinian in your current state would be tantamount to suicide, which is why I asked you to do it earlier, for some reason. As promised, I shall train you in the way of the dragoon, that you might face Estinian as an equal. Before we can commence, however, it is only fitting that you are edified regarding our origins. It all began a millennium past, when our forebears resided in the southern plains in humble circumstances. The Fury, impressed by the spirit of our ancestors, decided it was meet that she make them her own. So did she appear before Haldreth's sire, a man of courage and integrity named Thornton, and bade him lead her people to the Promised Land, to what would become the great nation of Ishgard. Their journey brought them to a wide chasm, whereupon Thornton and his people set to building a bridge. It was then that a dark shadow descended upon them. The great worm Nidhogg. Needless of his own safety, Thornton fearlessly charged at the colossal beast. Alas, he was pushed into the chasm by one of his own, a man seduced by the worm, and fell to his death. Taking up his slain sire's lance, Haldreth hurled himself at Nidhogg, even as tears streamed down his face. The confrontation ended when the young man, his hand guided by Halone, landed a mighty thrust that prized out Nidhogg's eye. With a terrible roar of pain, the great worm took wing and fled, while jubilation reigned below. Ishgard's priceless relic is none other than the eye taken from Nidhogg that day. It is a veritable wellspring of dragon power. Even so removed from its owner, it could exert control over the hearts of men. Haldreth himself felt its malign influence, but his love of justice brooked no corruption, and he prevailed over the power, claiming it for his own. And so it was that the first Azure Dragoon was born. Being derived from our foe, the power of the dragon is a thing to be loathed, but as Haldreth proved to us all, so long as our hearts burn with justice, we need not fear being taken in its thrall. Ah, but what is justice precisely? Justice assumes many shapes and forms, Ny'ardbert, and none can say that one is greater than another. So long as you hold fast to your beliefs and stay true to yourself, you leave no room for the power of the dragon to master you. But enough of history. Let us return our attention to the present. A knight by the name of Sir Brucemont will see to the next stage of your training. Seek him out at Witchdrop. Okay, I will return to see Witchdrop and Brucemont later. Alright, I've arrived at Witchdrop. Let's drop. Oh wait, shit, it's not in this direction, is it? Fuck. Okay. Carefully. Quietly. Go back up. You know, is it down here? It is. It's just under here. Where is this? Ah, I see it. There you are. Hello there, Brucemont. Give me a moment. So, the adventurer seeks to become a dragoon. Ha! Sir Albert speaks of legend and chosen ones, but I would see you prove yourself in a more practical fashion. With your lance. Defend yourself! From you? Alright. Are you not gonna draw your lance? Alright. Oh, hi! What are you? It's just a weird shaped... What is that? Is it a dragon? Weird creature. It's the things on its face that's throwing me off. Anyway. Was that it? You have some skill. I will give you that. In the glow of your soul crystal. Perhaps Sir Albert was not wrong about you after all. Now, return to him. Your training here is complete. Cool. Honestly, I feel like jumping in the pit was probably more of a training than fighting that thing was. You know, because jumping, because dragoon. Yeah, you get me. Through and around? How do I get over there? Alright, let's start down here. Okay. I really like this area. It's so pretty and quiet. The music's great too when it plays. Albrecht, I went and killed the thing. The soul of the dragon grows ever stronger within you, Ny'ardbert. Clearly your trial was a rousing success, and you'd only observe your crystal to know as much. Yes, they've only just begun to walk the path of the Dragoon. It is clear you possess the talent to become Estinian's equal. Go forth and make the powers you've obtained your own. When the time is right, we shall proceed with your training. You grow ever stronger, and I speak of more than just the flesh. Ah, you are slowly but surely realizing your potential as an Azure Dragoon. It is heartening to look upon, though I must confess that my presiding feeling is one of relief. You must understand, the mere thought that the eye would choose an outsider, one who ill comprehends the threat posed by the dragons, filled me with the gravest of misgivings. Yet you have... but I shall say no more, lest flattery impede your improvement. Now, during our last lesson, I enlightened you regarding the origins of Dragoons. You will recall how Haldrith heroically triumphed over the great worm Nidhogg, and Ishgard came into the possession of the Eye. Tell me, Ny'ardbert, do you believe that these events truly transpired, or are you inclined to think them fairy tales? I ask you this because few folk have seen dragons in the flesh besides we Ishgardians, and most would as soon dismiss them as products of imagination. I believe you about the dragons? I don't know about this particular story of trying to make a bridge and a dragon knocking off a bridge and this dude 1v1ing said dragon, getting his eye out. Alas, dragons are no less real than you and I, with Nidhogg perhaps the most real of all. What does that mean? What does him being more real imply? In the course of its history, Ishgard has suffered the creature's wrath on 8 separate occasions. Each time the great worm rouses, the blood of countless Ishgardians is spilled. Let us revisit the past once more, Ny'ardbert. The time is 20 summers past, and the place Dravania. After a century in slumber, Nidhogg awakened once more to resume his reign of terror. Entire villages were razed to the ground, their inhabitants reduced to smoldering ash. Sensing the great worm's unbridled rage, others of his kind begin to rouse, and in such numbers as to blot out the sun with their wings. A deep, foreboding darkness swept over Ishgard. Raging infernos painting the belly of the sky in angry red, the agonized screams of innocent fading into deathly silence. In my station as the Azure Dragoon, I was there through it all, bore witness to all the horrors. But there was no time to offer even a silent prayer. Nidhogg lingered in one place only long enough to lay it to waste, and when he took wing, so too did I pursue him, a man possessed. This game of cat and mouse continued for what seemed an eternity before I found myself face to face with the Great Worm. The battle unfolded in a tiny settlement on the edge of Kurthis, raging on for 3 days and 3 nights with neither side able to gain a decisive advantage. Remaining on my feet by sheer force of will, I realized that it must end now, else it shouldn't end well. Marshalling my last ounce of strength, I wagered all on a single thrust. My lance struck home, burying deep in the ruin of my opponent's empty eye socket. Yet before I could withdraw my weapon, the worm lashed out wildly in its agony, dealing a blow that left me sprawled upon the scorched earth, nigh insensate. In that instant, I thought myself surely doomed, but Halone was not finished with me. Having lost the taste for battle, Nidhogg let loose a blood-curdling roar before fleeing to the sky. The battle was over. While I did not perish from my injuries, they rendered my body unfit to bear the power of the dragon. I was Azure Dragoon no more. Lying bedridden, my thoughts wandered to all the innocent lives that had been lost, the people I had failed to protect. That last conflict with the dragons of Dravania left countless orphans in its wake. Estinian is one of them, the sole survivor of Ferndale, the final village to suffer Nidhogg's wrath. With none left to care for him, I did the only thing I could. I took Estinian as mine own son, instructing him in the way of the Dragoon when he was of an age to learn. Yet I would not have you think me noble. My actions were born not of compassion, but of guilt. My guilt at having failed him. But alas, I have also failed him as a father. For what manner of man did I bring him up to be? A thief who would endanger the life of every one of his countrymen? Aye, you heard me right. All of Ishgard may suffer for his crime. Though we know little and less of the minds of dragons, it is conceivable that the disturbance surrounding his stolen eye will rouse Nidhogg to awaken once more. That his kin have already stirred from their slumber serves as fair warning of that. Time is not on our side. Fortunately, it would seem you are more than ready to embark on your next trial. Make your way back to Witchdrop, where the Knight Hustion awaits your arrival. My nation is depending on you, Ny'ardbert. You really like Witchdrop, don't you? Is it the witches or the dropping? You know what they say, witches be dropping. Wow, it just occurred to me how old the phrase bitches be trippin' is. Like, that's back from when trippin' was like a thing that meant something. I guess it still kind of does, but I don't think it's common parlance anymore. Although, I don't know if someone who uses the phrase common parlance should really be the adjudicator of such matters. I'm not exactly hip with the kids. No, I do my best to keep up with the Zoomers. Okay. Oh! Okay, cool. This is another one of those characters that showed up earlier than I thought. You're the one who would aspire to be a Azure Dragoon. Why, you're not even of Ishgard. If you truly possess the power that Sir Albrecht sees in you, then prove it to me with your lance. On guard! Where did you get a whole bunch of knights? Oh, there's a big one. Okay, that makes more sense. Happy? That's strength. I've not seen its like since Estinian himself stood before me. Mayhap Sir Albrecht has the right of it after all. Return and show your crystal to him. I have no doubt he'll be pleased. You know, I've got to hand it to him. It's just a pretty straightforward quest. I do appreciate that. Go to a place and be spooked by a campfire. Go to a pit and fight a monster. Go to the same pit and fight a handful of monsters. Although I guess the real trial is listening to the lore dump every time. I'm here for it. It's cool lore, but it is a lot every time. You passed yet another trial with flying colors, Ny'ardbert. The day when you may stand before Estinian as an equal is not far off. And when that day comes, I will choose you over the traitor. I have no doubt of this. We must be patient still. For now, you must continue your training. When you can do no more on your own, seek me out once more. Oh, hell yeah, Doomspike. I learned an ability. Okay, I guess that is the end of where I can take these quests to at the moment. I am happy that we got Doomspike, because that is... I need a target for it. Well, it's my first of the AoE attacks, which is nice. Oh, right, I'm going to have to switch up that. Gotta love the backflip. Anyway, that will be where we're going to break for now. The Dragoon quests will return when I've gotten Dragoon to level 50, and I can do the last 2 of them, I think. There might be a third. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Hello, folks. I think this is going to be the middle of a video. It's the Dragoon quests. But it's the beginning of a new recording session. So, let's continue on learning how to kick Estinian's ass. I'm a level 51 Dragoon, so I'm ready to finish everything ARR has to offer. Impeccable timing, Ny'ardbert. A message arrived from Estinian but moments ago, much to my astonishment. He sent in letters? That's fun. He would trade words with us, and bids us meet him at Boulder Downs. As to his true intentions, I cannot say. It may well be a trap, but we must go nonetheless. I trust I can count upon your company. Alright, let's head out. This is the first one that I'm recording after completing the MSQ, so we can fly now. I was expecting more dramatic music, but I guess they're not feeling it right now. Of course, we're meeting a Dragoon. It has to be really high above stuff. Greetings, Master. It's been too long. Estinian, end this folly at once. You must know that each second the eye passes outside Ishgard's walls brings us closer to a repeat of the tragedy of 20 summers past. Surrender yourself and the eye, and return with me to Ishgard before it is too late. Ah, but it already is too late, Master. For you see, Nidhogg has already awakened. What? Hear me, Master. You've mistaken the cause of the dragon's return. The eye is not to blame. A premonition came to me by virtue of the dragon within, warning me that the great worm would soon rouse. Even as he slumbered, Nidhogg seethed with irrepressible rancor for that wound of 20 years ago. That rancor will send him flying as a speeding arrow to Ishgard, whereupon death and devastation will ensue. But there is a possible solution. Were the eye taken to a remote land, far from the Holy See, then, and only then, could destruction be averted, and the lives of innocent Ishgardians be spared. You mean to make a bait of yourself? Nay, there is more to this than you let on. You seek vengeance for Ferndale. To me, the two are one and the same. You know my past better than any else. It was for no other reason than to avenge my family that I became a Dragoon. Dragons long outlive men, and do not soon forget the wrongs done them.
What grudge they harbor burns as a fire in their hearts, over time swelling into an unquenchable inferno. You need only look back on history to see that Nidhogg grows stronger with each awakening. When last he darkened our skies, the Great Worm came within a hair's breadth of laying waste to Ishgard. Naught short of death will prevent him from completing his mission when next he wakes. Nidhogg took everything from me. Now I shall take everything from him, even if it means my life. The Eye works in ways men can ill comprehend, but this much is plain. In choosing 2 Azure Dragoons in one generation, it means for us to join together in common cause. Adventurer, you've heard my resolution. Now I ask that you lend me your power. I, the power of the dragon. In the long and proud history of Ishgard, never before have 2 Azure Dragoons arisen in the same era to fight as one. This is our best, nay, our only chance to send the Great Worm to eternal slumber. Behold, my armor. This is the dragon mail, forged in the lifeblood of dragons. As blood calls to blood, so too does the armor call to the dragon within, redoubling the wearer's strength thereby. If you would realize your potential as an Azure Dragoon, you must needs clad yourself in the same. Clad so, you will inherit the technique passed from Azure Dragoon to Azure Dragoon down through the generations. Then and only then will your training be complete. But first, you must win the Dragon Mail, as I and Sir Albert did before you, by proving yourself worthy in the ultimate trial of the Azure, a series of battles so harrowing as to send the unworthy to an early demise. Master, once the adventurer acquires the armor, pray see to it that he learns to harness the power of the dragon in full. Estinian, wait! Save your worries. I do not mean to make myself easy prey for dragons. I take my leave of you.
Oh, I guess Albert did too. I guess he is a dragoon. He could probably just jump off like it's nothing. Or perhaps he has lost too much of the dragon power to even do a jump. Not entirely clear how that works, to be honest. Also, like, are dragons good at jumping? Like, they can fly, but... I wonder if the reason dragons can fly despite their bulk is because their magic makes them light. And that you are using it. That same magic that would make you light to jump. This is my new headcanon.
Estinian. Forgive me, I was deep in thought. Now then, as to acquiring the armor of which Estinian spoke. At first it was my intention to bequeath mine own armor to you. I am an Azure Dragoon no longer, and its powers are wasted on me. It would be simple enough to hand it over to you and complete your training right here and now. But it is, as Estinian said, dragon armor is no ordinary set of mail. Its strength derives from the dragon's blood whence it came, the blood's power resonating with the soul of the wearer. Though I can no longer draw upon mine own armor's power, its bond to me was forged years ago. Were I to bestow it on you now, I fear it would offer but a scintilla of the protection it afforded me in those bygone days. Aye, Estinian has the right of it. You must claim your armor as he did, and I did before you. You must complete the trials of the Azure, that the powers of dragon blood be yours and yours alone. The Ogre's Belly will be where your final test begins. I shall dispatch Sir Brucemont there. Seek him out upon your arrival.
So, even though this is a job quest video, I think this will be a numbered entry. Because this is the first thing I'm doing after finishing level 50. So here, a little bit of a structure.
probably gonna take a little time before we do too much of the main story quest. I'm gonna be doing a bunch of stuff in like basically a random order and recording it. It's probably really only gonna come together in the edit. But some things to look forward to. We've got the class quest. I'm gonna unlock Samurai, although you won't see that outside of like dungeons and such for quite a long time. I'm going to be doing some hard modes on dungeons, as well as a few dungeons that like have their own storylines but are not actually hard modes. As well as I'd like to look into doing the Odin trial, which is not part of any story other than its own. I'm not entirely sure when that unlocks. And past that, there's also Hildebrand. So there's a lot to do at level 50. I'll be spreading it out some, because there is so much to do that I think I'll like do a patch worth of content and then some side stuff, and a patch worth of content, and then some side stuff. We also need to do the Crystal Tower raids, because those have our fan favorite Catboy in them. As well as like something that gets called back to relatively often. I think that's more or less it. Oh, the Coils of Bahamut. We're going to be leaving the Coils of Bahamut until later, because they are hard. And I don't have a group of people that are going to be running it through it unsynced with me yet. You've grown strong since we last met, adventurer, but you pale in comparison with your Azure forebears. If you prove me wrong, let your lance do the talking. With you? Oh, no, that. Alright, cool. So... so hard. Once again, adventurer, you prove yourself worthy beyond my expectations. Take this, but know that your trial has only just begun. Your next challenge lies in the chamber beyond. Sir Hustien awaits you there. Oh, a bunch of stuff with upgrades there. Sick. So that's the pants. We're gonna go ahead and skip on past this bit. You, a foreigner, would don the dragon armor, and prove to us that you will not do it dishonor. Giant captain. Is that what you wanted me to do? To murder a captive? Sir Helbrick said the Eye had chosen you, and it would appear he speaks true. The armor is yours. Wear it with pride and honor. Your trial is not complete, but be forewarned. Many before you have made it this far, only to fall at the final challenge. Do not let overconfidence be your downfall. Oh. Is the piece they gave me worse than something I have? 45. Oh, yeah, I bet it was the gloves. Yeah, it is. So, you've made it this far. Very well. Prove yourself worthy of the Azure or die in the effort. Also a captive. Do you just, like, have giant slaves? I guess giant prisoners, but still you're executing them, so that's not cool. What's demonstrated your powers to me beyond a doubt. Aye, there's not an Ishgardian who would gainsay your right to don the armor of dragons. I shall send word ahead to Sir Albrecht that you've passed your trials here. It is he who will present you with the fourth piece of armor and consummate your training. Oh, just knows that kind of thing. Go now, my fellow dragoon, and deliver this land from the great worm's wrath. Shame it's not still standing on this golden post, but whatever. It really does give a different perspective on everything. It's pretty cool. Oh, I'm hoping to upgrade my computer around the holidays, so hopefully somewhere around mid-Heavensward we will get a notable uptick in production quality. At least, like, visual, and we'll presumably have less of those little drops. I heard from Sir Brusmon that you perform most impressively. Yes, I stand more convinced than ever that you will be the one to save our land. Yet be warned, Ny'ardbert, one last trial awaits you. You'll face this trial in the presence not of knights, but of ghosts. Make your way towards the Steel Vigil and seek out a gravestone north and west of the structure. Take with you this flute. When you reach your destination, blow a single strong note. The visitor shall soon arrive. Entertain your guest, and should he leave behind a present, return it here to me. Oh, okay, so when they said consummate, they didn't mean. Yeah, never mind. Don't worry about don't worry about it. I'll go fight a ghost, presumably. Oh, that was embarrassing. Albert's probably doubly confused because he never even used that word. It's like, what was Hostian telling this kid? Not the sound I would have expected from... That's not a ghost. But alright. Solo Dragoon resonates a little more. The flute and horse go to Albert. No. What's the third piece together? Is that? Boots? Boots. broken person before me indicates you've seen to the visitor. Have you ought to show for your deeds? Here's your flute. And here's a piece of a dragon? Ah, the skull of Greywine, old warrior of the Dravanian horde. It said that in ages past he could bring down a castle with a single breath. His strength has dwindled since those days, but a dragon past his prime is a formidable foe nonetheless. In slaying him, you have proven yourself worthy of this. You now possess 4 pieces of the armor that Estinian, myself, and our forebears did wear. While you doubtless wonder about the 5th, I can tell you only that it is not mine to give. Fear not, however, your triumphs in the trials and against a dragon of the horde give evidence that dragon blood now resides within yours. Yes, you stand before me as prepared for your ultimate challenge as any could be. And yet, before we proceed, I would hear it from your own lips. The Great Worm's power is the stuff of legends. Have you truly resolved to fight this battle? To risk your own life to deliver a foreign land from the clutches of its ancient foe? When you are certain that your mind is settled, return and speak to me. I think I'll put the visor up. I think I'll just hide it. Looks sillier with the visor up, and I won't be able to have his facial expressions in cutscenes. Fatal seduction. Okay, maybe it is getting consummated. So, you would join your strength to Estinians, that Ishgard might be free from the rage of the Great Worm forevermore. I shall honor my promise. You shall have full use of your powers by the time we are done. Before we begin, there is something I must needs confess. You will recall the tale of my battle with Nidhogg 20 years past, and how the power of the dragon left me on account of the injuries I sustained. What I said was an untruth. The power did not abandon me, Ny'ardbert. It was I who abandoned it. Being derived from our mortal enemies, the power of the Azure Dragoon is a double-edged sword. Even as it lends us the strength we need to smite dragons, it heightens our communion with the creatures, rendering our minds more susceptible to their seduction than ordinary men. Are you saying we're dragon fuckers? Even as I buried my lance in Nidhogg's flesh, our gazes locked, and mine eyes met then with a look that would fair impale a man. In that instant I found myself assailed by a torrent of emotions not mine own. Sorrow, rancor, pity. They threatened to drown the man in me and leave behind a dragon. Fearing that I might turn traitor, I chose to purge myself of the power that the eye had bestowed upon me. Thus, regaining lucidity, I was able to rout the grievously wounded Nidhogg. Alas, countless of his brethren yet remained. As if to mock me, they fell upon Ferndale with a vengeance. Bereft of my power, it was all I could do to save but one child. Nary a soul knows of this. Nay, not even Estinian, but I can keep him in the dark no longer. At our last meeting, Estinian said that protecting Ishgard and exacting revenge upon Nidhogg are as one to him. That frame of mind, I fear, may well lead to his demise. The desire to protect and the desire to avenge are opposing forces that can ill be reconciled. Worse, the latter serves only to cloud his sense of self. When next Estinian and I meet, I intend to confess all, though it means the loss of his good opinion. The outcoming of the coming battle, and his very life, may very well depend upon his readiness to relinquish his powers. Never allow yourself to forget the origin of your strength. Never does the dragon lurk behind your eyes, biding its time, ready to claim you for its own. Aught less than complete conviction, and you will find yourself in its vice-like clutches. So, forewarned, let us return to our present endeavor. My promise to Estinian was that I would impart unto you the technique that will mark you as a true Azure Dragoon. If you know the truth, however, this knowledge is not within my power to bestow. Now, you must claim the technique much as you claimed the 4th piece of the armor you bear, by proving yourself in battle with the dragons whose powers you would unite with your own. I entrust you with this flute once more. Take it to the southwest of Providence Point and blow a single note. By locking wheels with your adversary and prevailing, you prove yourself worthy to champion the cause to which your lance is sworn. The dragon within you shall then awaken. I don't know, I'm just saying, like, after the Stone Vigil and, like, the dragon that got summoned during the whole, like, quest chain that was around here, that was, like, invincible, a random Archivist was not particularly threatening. It is good to see you safely returned. I take from your bearing that the engagement went favorably. You left this place as a man, Ny'ardbert, but you return as a dragon. There is no more for me to teach you. From here your battle is yours and yours alone. Now, you might recall me saying that the fifth and final piece of the dragon armor was not mine to give. However, this is not wholly true. I should keep track of how many times you say that. I could guide you in the direction of that which you seek. That said, I yet have reservations. The sheer power of the dragon housed within it is such that a great many of your Azure forebears, myself among them, have proven hopelessly incapable of wielding it. But I do not doubt what I see. Within you is awakened a strength that forever eluded the likes of me. If you are not worthy of wearing the armor, then I know none who are. Remember my warning to you, Ny'ardbert, and heed it well. Nidhogg is a lord among his kind. Aught less than complete conviction, and you will surely fall under his thrall. Before you can master your foe, you must needs master yourself. Hone your lance arm till it can bear no further honing, and then present yourself to me. When the time has come, I will tell you what you need to know. I got a dragon badge. Okay. I'm gonna put that for where True North is right now, since I don't really have a use for True North yet, I don't think. Okay, now that technically matters, but not much. It's a weird placement, but I don't quite have enough buttons to justify going to a full second hotbar yet. But I can take this off. Ny'ardbert, an urgent message arrived from Estinian in your absence. He bids you come at once to the Steel Vigil. It would seem Nidhogg is on the move, and rather sooner than we had anticipated. It appears you have not yet fully become master of the dragon within you, and yet we are racing against time. I fear we have no choice but to do battle to the best of your current abilities, and without the dragon mail I promised. Now, let us away. Estinian must know the truth of Ferndale, lest he fall for the Great Worm's seduction. I'm expecting a very hot worm whenever we meet Nidhogg. What would that imply? Not really sure. Dragons aren't typically my thing. But I'm ready to be surprised. Is the traits that, like, dragon fuckers are looking for? Like, are there certain dragons they find more or less attractive? And if so, what? Why? I'm sure there must be, but I wonder if they can put it into words or not. If there are any dragon fuckers in the comments, let me know. Into the dragon's maw. Alright. Albric, I have waited long for this day. Sorry. You, who fancy yourself an Azure Dragoon, the man whose cause you have taken for your own, is a coward. He relinquished the power of the dragon of his own volition and watched as Ferndale burned. Do you not think it ironic that I was chosen Azure Dragoon? I, an orphan who has not a value to protect in Ny'ardbert? I suppose I must give thanks, for it was the eye that revealed to me the truth, a truth so damning as to undo a lifetime of trust. I loved you as a father, but I can ill forgive you for Ferndale. As I understand it, you've kept even the Archbishop in the dark regarding the missing eye. Do you mean to take your shame to your grave? But I waste my breath. Prepare yourself, old man, for I shall lay to waste all the things you hold dear, and once I'm finished with you, I shall do what no Azure Dragoon has succeeded in doing. I shall claim Nidhogg's head. Calm yourself, Estinian. Your rage renders you vulnerable to the dragon's influence. Ny'ardbert. In you, I thought I had found kindred, someone beside whom I could fight the Great Worm. It was with heavy heart that I relinquished that dream. Your affection for this coward has rendered you deaf to your own destiny. Very well. That we would one day cross lances was inevitable from the moment of our first meeting. As we shall now find out who is the Eye's true chosen, there can be only one. I am the Eye's true chosen. Oh, sorry. Estinian, stop this madness. You and Ny'ardbert were meant to be allies, not enemies. See that he took the same tactic I did. Oh, he's got the old version of jump. Compare to mine own. To awaken the dragon, Ny'ardbert, and my flame shall consume the whole. That's what I haven't learned yet. What is this? Oh, that's me. Okay. Power, I must have more power. Only one dragon's granted us. Estinian, surrender not to the beast within. Have you forgotten the vows you swore? Feeble creature, dost thou desire power? What? Who? Look to thine anger, and to thy hatred. It is there that thou shalt find it. O mighty Nidhogg, Lord of Dragons! Grant unto me thy blood, that I might be granted the claws and fangs wherewith to rend thine enemies. Ny'ardbert, this is impossible. It cannot be.
Did I evaporate him?
Forgive me, Justinian. I failed you once again. I am fine, Ny'ardbert. Somewhat shaken, but otherwise whole of body. I suffice to say I have much to reflect upon. Let us return to the observatorium. Alright.
So I assume we didn't kill Justinian. Does he just turn up at Heavensward now like it's nothing? Or is there another scene? You know what? I'll just let it play out. Is it from this? Oh, it's from Norm Vale. Of course it is.
When the being of darkness closed upon us, he appeared to me the spitting image of Haldreth, the dragon's eye, just as he's depicted in the Holy Scriptures. I thought that mayhap the years had taken their toll on my mind, but behold, the soul of the dragoon shines as it never did in all the years I bore it. It would seem you've achieved that which was thought impossible. You've awakened to the ability that none but the first Azure dragoon possessed. Truly a momentous achievement. I can still scarce believe that you were able to summon the self-same dragon mail worn by Haldreth. To think that it had been sealed within the soul crystal all this time. I had borne witness to many and more wonders over the years, yet none compares to you, my young dragoon. Could it be that you are... Mark not my mutterings. I am certain that it was your indomitable sense of justice that resonated with the spirit of the first Azure dragoon, prompting him to bestow the armor upon you. Yes, that is doubtless what happened. As the being of darkness faded, so too did Nidhogg's aura subside, and now his kind have ceased their stirring. Whether this was compelled by your awakening, I cannot say. I suspect we will learn the truth of it eventually. Justinian, my dear boy. Whatever becomes of him, he will ever be as a son to me. I pray that he is somewhere out there still, that he has not wholly forgotten the great man he once was. When that darkness brushed against me, the selfsame torrent of emotions swept over me as those I experienced 20 summers past. But there was something else besides. There was a voice that lamented the rift that divides dragons and men. You'll come to comprehend what I speak in due time. Till then, Ny'ardbert, I pray that you will ever use your newfound strength in the name of justice.
This concludes the Dragoon quest for Realm Reborn. Dragoon Age. Alright, cool. So, we'll go ahead and throw on... Oh, I didn't get it. That in my inventory, so I can put... I finally need to go through and clear out my inventory. So there we are. Ny'ardbert, the Azure Dragoon. I think it looks good on him.
an absurd piece of armor, but, like, still pretty cool. We also got the last of the dives, the Dragonfire dive, or the last for this level range. Yeah, exciting. We will return to the Dragoon quests when it is time to move on to Heavensward. I do kind of have to wonder how some things connect, but I guess we'll find that out naturally. Yeah, I guess that's where we'll leave off for this. See you in a bit.